Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The 116 Life right here on Sirius XM Channel 154 right here on Holy Culture Radio. Listen, man, you tuned in at a great time. We're happy that everyone is tuned in, rocking with me and my co-pilot here, the one and only De La Sano. I always wanted to say that, man. I feel like
you killed it.
You know, I feel like I sound very similar to the actual tag.
No,
I've been practicing.
You're pretty much Liberian at this point.
Hey, listen,
You're not what your friend called other Africans when you was in grade school.
Listen, we ain't even gonna get it. We ain't gonna get into that, man. But listen, we have a special guest, man, the one and only. I'm already feeling myself the way I said the tag, but I be wanting to sing the way he be singing his name because he's a better singer than I am, y'all. We got Mike Teezy, the one and only here on the 116.
Yeah,
Mike.
Thank y'all for having me. Yeah,
what's good, bro?
Life.
No,
God
for
is
real.
good.
So how's
great.
life been treating you? Let's go ahead and dive in.
It's been amazing. In
Yeah.
this season, I'm just like flowing. You know, I'm just like, I'd rather just step out the way and just let God take me where He's taking me. So literally everything that's happening right now, I'm just in awe still. I'm trying to like really soak it all in.
Yeah.
All of that good stuff. But it's really been crazy.
Because you've been all over, bro. Because
sure.
I mean, if I see another celebrity post about you, Ty Tribbett, B. Simone, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, dang, where is Mike going now? Like, you are all over, bro. How is it? Have you had the chance to kind of like even like say like even like resting? We're talking about that off air a little bit, you know, resting
like,
a little bit.
It's been kind of crazy. Like the flight here this morning, I was just sitting there. I was like, man, God has done so much
Dang, bro.
this year. And it's not even over yet, you know, but He's done so much and I've been blown away, you know, and just, it's really an attest to like, somebody's calling me, they ain't get the memo. It's really showing me that God is faithful to His word. You know what I'm saying? And He's a rewarder to them that diligently seek Him. And He's showing me that, son, you've been faithful. You've been diligent. You've been doing everything I told you to do. Now it's time. Now it's your time. It's harvest time. You're reaping the
harvest
seed,
land.
You know what I'm saying? The fruit
good,
that you've
bro.
sown. You know what I'm saying? From all them seeds, from so many years of, you know, just working at it and tilling the ground and all of that good stuff. Now to finally be reaping some of it. Like this ain't even all of it. Like I know God is about to do so much more in my life, and I'm just walking into it. Like it's really
amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah, I feel like you're one of the hardest working. You're one of the hardest working artists in Christian hip hop. If you want to subscribe to that title or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I just be seeing you everywhere, man.
That's God.
I mean, I can't get you off my timeline, bro. I'm Mike Teezy. I'm like, I be trying to scroll. I'm like, I'll tap in. Like, all right, bro.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I think it's just
good. Yeah.
You strike. I mean, I don't know you personally. It's my first time meeting you, but you strike me as like a hard working, faithful dude.
Yeah.
That's what I think is. I think that's what I'm getting when I see you, man.
Praise
so
God.
for sure.
Yeah. So listen. So I know the holidays are coming up. I was talking to Ace about this. It seems like these last 3 months of the year, just going like this. You got any plans for the holidays?
Plans. Just spending time with the family.
Yeah. Where's
That's
family?
it. North Carolina.
Yeah,
Winston-Salem to be exact. Yeah.
Do you get a chance to see your family as often as you like, or?
I do actually. So when I travel, like I mostly travel on the weekends. So I travel on the weekends. I'm back home for church on Sunday. And
Do you like serve? You play?
Yeah. I play the drums.
Oh, you play the drums? Hey,
Word.
that's me, bro. Hey, I'm nice. I'm nice in you though.
You know what I'm saying? I hold it down. I hold down the triangle a little bit.
Okay.
You know, I'm off to the side.
Ding, ding. Okay,
I know
gotcha.
this little light of mine. I got a solid.
In today's music business, you can get publishing for the triangle.
Hey.
So.
Hey man, don't tell me. I'll get my publishing rights today.
hard.
You know what I'm saying? But no, I just feel like the family's so important, man. I feel like people love to I don't know. I feel like the holidays is a great excuse to just be around family.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Especially like, you know, living like the lives like that we live, like traveling, doing all those things. It's like that time to kind of like sit and be grounded is like so important. But you know, for those people who are under a rock, who don't know, who are meeting, like, who is this man? He got the chain on, he got the white pants on, you know what I'm saying? Introduce yourself to people, like who you are, where you're from, and what you do, so on and so forth.
Okay, so I'm Mike Teezy. I'm a Christian rapper, singer, dancer, artist, creative, whatever you want to call me. But truly just a servant of God, man. Like, That's truly what you get from me. Like most people that meet me, they say I'm humble and down to earth, whatever. I like to stay in that vein because I'd rather stay humble than get humbled. You feel me? So that's me in a nutshell. But truly, I just love being creative. Like, you know, when it comes to music videos, anything like that, like that's just me in a nutshell. From North Carolina, but originally from Charleston, West Virginia.
Okay.
Grew up there, but I've been in North Carolina since 2000.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I've been there for a minute.
Okay, so listen, so have you always been creative?
You can say that, yeah. I've always been a dancer. You know what I'm saying? I started off dancing, playing the drums. Started playing the drums when I was like 4. Started dancing when I was like 3 or 4, somewhere in there. But I always played the background. So I never was like front and center, like I'm the singer, I'm the rap. Never was that guy. I was shy growing up. I was just to myself. But when the music came on, I was dancing.
Okay.
Like all the parties and church functions,
functions, dance. Like I was a part of the dance team, all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did the mime? I
was going to say, I did mime. You got the white pants on.
I did mime once. Okay. I was in college. One of my crump bros, we actually had a crump team. We used to travel and do shows crumping and dancing and breakdancing.
Okay.
Like so yeah.
Did or did this not? Did the church mother throw money on the ground while doing?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Just kidding.
I got some Holy Ghost handshakes back in the day.
Okay.
They put some money in hands.
Oh!
Yeah, I got those.
Love a Holy Ghost handshake.
I ain't getting no money from that.
I can get one of those today.
Man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. That's how you know, like when you really rocking with the elders, they come piss something on you, piss something on that tab, you know.
Yeah. So at the height that you are today, did you always, was this always the goal for you?
Honestly, no. Like I said, I was shy growing up. I was the backstage
you
guy.
You weren't shy, Mike, if you was out there
dancing
and miming, getting the Holy Ghost handshakes. You wasn't
shy. If you knew me then, like, God is gonna work. You know what I'm saying? God is gonna work.
Gotcha.
So now I'm unashamed.
But
you know, so but yeah, growing up, like I literally was just to myself. I just stayed quiet unless somebody talked to me or whatever. And then God just kind of just brought this out of me. Like, no, I'm trying to show you something. You know, and so I started, developing more skills, more gifts and stuff like that. But I didn't really tap into music until I was about to graduate college.
What?
Facts. So I was playing in the jazz band, the marching band, all of that stuff. I played the drums all through school.
Oh, but did you have like a scholarship for music or what?
No, so I went to the Art Institute of Charlotte.
Oh God!
So I went for graphic design. So I was artistic.
You were okay. You say creative, you really mean like holistically,
like everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Whole arts. Period. But yeah. So I was just kind of to myself, shy, whatever. But like I said, when the music came on, I was dancing. So I started a dance crew at the school. I started a whole club because they didn't have dance or nothing like that. Because I wanted to go to school for dance to be a background dancer. That's what I wanted to do, background. But God was just like, nah, not so. You know what I'm saying? I got something else for you. So as time went on, I finally just started to discover these gifts and talents or whatever. So I was doing poetry, just writing it a little bit, playing around with it. Never took it serious. I went to some of my friends' apartment because we had apartments in that college. They didn't have dorm rooms. So they had a studio set up. So I used to go in there and just record, just playing around with stuff, freestyling over different remixes and stuff like that. And people was like, yo, I heard your song that you did. I put it on Facebook at that time. That was the thing to do. Yeah. Put it on Facebook if you wanted to be, legit. So I put it on Facebook. People heard it around the school and was like, yo, man, you actually got a voice. You can rap a little bit. You can spell. I was like, word, okay. Then I started singing a little bit. I was like, oh, you can sing too. You can do this, da da da. I was like, word, okay, cool. So I was like, maybe I could do this thing a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And just kept doing it, kept at it, and now we here.
That's crazy. So you didn't in high school, nothing, never like.
I was freestyling at lunch, you know what I'm saying, but mainly dancing,
so
mainly marching.
You were like a closet creative, kind of. It's like it was there, but it wasn't like on display for everybody.
Exactly. So the only thing that was on display was my gifts as far as playing the drums. Being artistic. I made my school's logo, stuff like that.
Whoa.
Like that was
They cut you a check.
They gave you holy hands.
No check, but I got my name in the yearbook. That was it. Designed by my
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah.
But.
Okay, so listen. So you said that you were shy, which to me, it's
I
fine,
know
hard
a lot
to
of
believe.
people don't.
But I mean, I was the same way growing up too. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was kind of, for me, it was a little like I had to walk and get there, even still going there. So when it comes to you being shy, being the background, being told what to do, wanting to be the background, and then God aligning you to be like, hey man, you thought, but I want you to be in the forefront. What was that transition like for you?
So it was really like me realizing my insecurities in myself. You know what I'm saying? All through school, I got picked on because of my skin, because of how I looked, stuff like that.
We just talked
and
about
you know what I'm saying? Some dark skin in here. You know what I'm saying? We looking at it right now.
All day. Say more.
Still
What? Like when you said like tell like what was that like in terms of them picking on you? What was that?
Listen, I was getting picked on day in and day out. And so my parents weren't even pastors at that time, but they were ministers, you know what I'm saying? So as their children, you know, they're still speaking into me and stuff like that, but I wasn't receiving it because I'm still going to school. I'm getting, you know, talked about, all this stuff. And so I was internalizing a lot of that stuff, and I started acting out as far as like suicidal thoughts and attempts. So I used to draw up how I was going to kill myself, how I was going to, you know, execute, you know, myself, or the suicides that I wanted to attempt. And it really took me breaking down on my knees and crying out to God. But I lived with this for years. And so I feel like it didn't really break until I got in college.
Really? So you've kind of been internalizing that trauma all through high school? All
through high school, middle school, all of that. Like I had threats, people was gonna hang me in the streets, had my blood dripping. Like it was really crazy.
Help me understand. Help us understand. What type of like culture, community, environment were you in? Was it predominantly black, predominantly white, mixed? Like what that look like? I've been
all around. So like I said, I was born and raised in Charleston, West Virginia, right? So I went to school out there until like 3rd grade, but I was still getting bullied out there. That was like a public school.
Okay.
Everybody's welcome, right? So then we moved to North Carolina, new element, and mind you, I used to get in trouble a lot in West Virginia. I got in fights all the time because I got picked on so much. I'm like, this is how I'm gonna fight back.
So you got them hands back.
Yeah, but not
he was laying hands.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Mike is like,
now we praying for people. You know what I'm saying? Now we praying. So, but yeah, when I moved to North Carolina, I was like, you know what? It's time for a new life. Okay. You know, a new change. So we went to this school, and it was definitely a new environment. You know what I'm saying? It was more of like the
white.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
No, it's the 116. Like we keep it 100.
Okay, facts. Yeah. So it was more white people. Okay. They had a few like different Asians that was there and stuff like that too. So it was different from what I was used to. You know what I'm saying? But it was uniform now. So now we're all wearing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? There shouldn't be no picking on nobody, talking about nothing like that. But still, like in this environment, getting picked on, getting talked about, whatever, and I was just internalizing it now. Like I wasn't deciding to act out. I wasn't deciding to, you know, fight. I was just like, let me just take it in. So I leave that school. Then I go to another school. This was a uniform school as well, but it was like a private public charter school. Right. Crazy. Different. Never heard of that before. And it was definitely like a rude awakening. You know what I'm saying? Definitely more black, more Latino, stuff like that. And this is a school where I guess people assumed that I thought that I was better than them, because I had both of my parents in the household. You know what I'm saying?
You were the Cosby kid, kinda.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they looked at me because I had both parents.
You Huxtable vibes.
Facts.
I know. Yeah.
And I just literally carry myself how my parents have taught me. You know,
with honor, respect, articulate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so even from leaving high school, going to college now college was a rude awakening for sure because it was an art school. So I got exposed to so much that I didn't even expect. Like dudes walking around with like the little swoosh hair, like bald, but had a little, you know what I'm saying?
Kept that patch right there
to the front so they could lay it across the
Yeah, I feel you.
I was so blown away. Like this is my first day walking. I was like, oh my God. Like what is this that I'm in right now? And so, yeah, that was crazy. That was definitely crazy. Yeah, it was a rude awakening for sure. So that was just, everything that you can expect from an art school. Yeah, I got that.
And so you, at what point, I think you were asking this earlier, Mia, like what point did it like, the internalization of the trauma, the coming to a moment of finding yourself, finding the Lord. At what point did that kind of like hit you?
So it's like a bunch of like different things that happened or transpired in that time. I got a phone call that one of my friends from high school, we were the co-captains of the basketball team, and he was shot and killed. And so when I got that call, that was almost like an eye opener for me too, like saying like tomorrow's not promised. You know? Like anything can happen at any time. Like nobody is promised tomorrow, like literally. And so in that moment, I just started praying, you know, praying for his family. And then I started realizing like, man, like I feel like I have a bigger calling on my life than what I'm doing right now. Cause I was just dancing. Like I just wanted to dance for God. Like I thought that was my thing. And God was just like, yo, you have a voice. You know what I'm saying? You have something to say. You have a story to tell, you know? And so in that, I wrote like a worship song, randomly just writing a worship song. In my college apartment, just writing this worship song, crying. And so then I get in the car because my parents were picking me up from college to bring me home for the weekends, you know what I'm saying, to go to church. And I'm telling them the song and I start singing it. And they just start crying in the car. And they say, wow, son, like God has given you something. Yeah. So mind you, I was raised in a household of singers, like, but I never thought I had that voice. So I was like, nah, I'm not meant to do that. I'm not. So I was like a little ashamed, you know what I'm saying, of what I thought I had, you know, to give. Like I was like, God just gave me this little gift. Nobody want to hear this. Right. But God is like, nah, like you have something to say, you know? And so nobody else can tell your story better than you could tell it.
Thanks.
That's amazing. I would love to, you know, pick this back up in the next segment too, just hear more. Because you don't like hearing your story, which is kind of new to me. You have so much joy. You're such a joy.
Yeah.
Right. Bro, I'm like, what?
And then you said, I was picked on.
Nah,
I was drawn.
All of that. Like people wouldn't know. People wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could take
it's a lot, man. And I feel like I'm excited to dive into the next segment, like you were saying, because now we're going to get into, I guess, the triumph that came from the trauma part. So listen, y'all, we're here at the 116 Life here with the one and only Mike Teezy here. Me and Ace are holding it down right here on the 116 Life here on channel 154, Sirius XM, Holy Culture Radio. We'll be right back.
Fire.
All right, we're back here on the 116 Life right here on Holy Culture Radio, channel 154, right here on Sirius XM. I got Ace here with me, and we both have Mike Teezy here on the show. We're talking about, we talked about some traumatic things, okay? We talked about a lot, but we got to get into the part where, personally, I think that God really brought you out for real. So I know that you said that your parents were ministers. Yeah. How did that play into your relationship with God? Because you said you really didn't get to take your relationship with God seriously until your friend passed. Yeah. So like, how did that impact you, like leading up to then with your parents being, you know, ministers and whatnot?
So it's crazy. I tell this like every chance I get. My testimony at the age of 7, I was run over by a drunk driver. My legs were twisted the opposite way. The doctor said I'd be paralyzed for the rest of my life. Bro. But God healed me in 20 minutes, just like that. And I was doing flips out the hospital. And then in 2005,
wait, don't speed past. Wait. Back it up. Yeah. You said you got ran over by a drunk driver. I was
ran over by a drunk driver.
7 years old. You remember it?
7 years old.
You like remember that?
I remember it like it was yesterday.
The pain and everything.
The pain, like just the picture. I can literally see it. I want to make a documentary one day, so y'all mark my words on that.
No, for sure. People got it. And you said God healed you in 20 minutes,
just like that. No surgery, no nothing. And then in 2005, I was in another bad car accident and my lumbar too was snapped. It was broken. And you could literally see in the x-ray where the bones were laying on top of each other. And then like 2 hours go by, they switch shifts. We get a new doctor. They was like, y'all mind if we take one more look? My parents is like, by all means, do what you got to do. They take the second look and you can see where the bones came back together the same night. Whoa, man. I said all that to say, in the midst of all that, I still didn't know who I was and why God protected me, why God healed me. You know, I thought, God just healed me to dance. Like he just wanted me to, dance or whatever. And so, later on when I found out about my friend getting killed and I was like, tomorrow's not promised. I'm thinking about, the goodness of God. Like I could have died multiple times. I shouldn't have lived through them situations. Yeah. I should be in a wheelchair right now, but God healed me. You know what I'm saying? There must be more to me. You know what I'm saying? There must be more to my life than just, dancing to whatever, And so, and I just started walking into it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you have that moment, the series of moments. Yeah. You in college, you having all these different things happening. Yeah. You didn't start getting into music till after college, which is like
my last semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you doing like Christian music at the time? What was your relationship with the Lord?
Like I said, I always had a relationship with God, and so what I told my dad was, because growing up we danced to like Kirk Franklin and stuff like that, and so my dad, when he was in the world, he was a dancer. But when he got saved, he was like, "Oh, that's a sin now. I can't do that no more." Right? And so he kind of, put that on me. Like, whatever he was feeling, he put that on me now. So he's like, you can't dance. You can't, no them devils move right there. I can't do that now.
Yeah, wow.
But I had to tell him, I was like, God healed me for a reason. Like, I want to use my legs to dance for him. Mind you, in college, I was dancing to whatever, secular music, all that good stuff, but I was still PK, you know what I'm saying? Still a church boy.
For sure.
But at that time, when I started playing around with music, I was just doing poetry, just, rapping about whatever. And it wasn't necessarily like, guns, sex, drugs, nothing like that, but I was just rapping about biscuits, ketchup, you know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
You know,
like most rappers do today.
Most rappers, facts. It's facts.
No real substance. Right. Yeah, no real content out here.
I had a dance crew. We had a jerking crew and all of that stuff. And so at that time when we were still dancing and jerking and stuff, we started making jerking music. And so I was like one of the first, Christian jerking artists around that time too.
Oh, what an era.
Because after I got rededicated, no, you don't want to hear that. After I got rededicated.
Are the videos out right now?
Videos are still on YouTube. Don't look it up.
Fans, tap in.
Don't look at
Mike
it.
Teezy,
Don't search it.
jerking.
The sound is way different. It's not, a representation of me today.
Part of the story, my brother.
It is part of the story, though. So I praise God for it, but I thank God for where we at now. Praise God. God is good. God is good. But yeah, that was the start. So I was just, rapping about that, rapping about dancing. And so this was all like within the course of like maybe 2-3 months. And so I think I got the call like right before Christmas break. And then like New Year's service, you got, watch night service. That's when I rededicated my life to God that night. Okay. And so I get back to school. I'm like, yo, guys, I just rededicated my life to God. Like, we can still do this dancing thing, you know what I'm saying? But let's do it for God now. It was like, yeah. Nobody wanted to do it for real.
I was going to say, like, so were they down with that?
It was like lame.
It was like, he tripping. So ended up just being me. And then I was like, you know what? I want to do this for God, but what am I dance to? Mm-hmm. Like, what can I dance to?
Oh, okay.
So this is where that started, you know what I'm saying? So I started doing remixes because I ain't have money for beats. I ain't have money for no studio. So I would just download whatever, song was popping at that time, whatever the instrument it was. If it was like, Look at Me Now at the time, I think it was from Chris Brown. I was like, Nicki Minaj had a song, Dungeon Dragon. What's it called? Roman's Revenge.
Okay, you did
a remix to that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to find my sound. I'm just playing around with different things. And so I'm making remixes to all these songs. End up dropping a mixtape, throwing it out there because I'm like, yo, I got a mixtape now. I'm going crazy. And like in that, after posting it and all that good stuff, and people was like, yo, man, I hear you, bro. Like you saying some stuff. You know what I'm saying? You saying some good stuff. I was like, okay, maybe I can actually do this thing for real.
Right.
And I just stuck with it.
Dang.
Yeah.
So you stuck with it, but I mean, I said the word hardest working earlier. Yeah. This is kind of like, I think, a thread through your whole story. Like,
facts.
It didn't like you've been at it for a minute.
Facts.
I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to put. We ain't going there. But I just want to for all the artists out there who have been pursuing music.
Facts.
Because I've said this before. Not everybody who has the gift of music has the platform to do music.
Facts.
Is divinely purposed to do it professionally.
That's facts.
And I think people just need to hear that so that they can sit with the reality that God elevates.
Yeah.
You can work as hard as you can.
Facts.
If it ain't your purpose and your call, it ain't going nowhere. I have to say that because I think sometimes people try to associate God's goodness with his promise or something that is like he doesn't.
It might not even be promised.
It might be promised. He gave you the gift for music for a reason, that maybe to edify your local church. So he could, or
all of that,
he could elevate you the way you are. So how did you navigate that tension, and how'd you keep going? Because you've been at it for a minute. Like,
it's been a minute.
Walk us through. Like,
yeah. So the main thing that's been keeping me grounded and keeping me focused is the word of God. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, my parents are pastors, and like a lot of things that they teach is literally things that I need in that season. You know what I'm saying? So there were times where I was feeling like giving up, and then I would hear Galatians 6:9, like, be not weary and well doing, for in due season you shall reap the harvest if you faint not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I literally had to hold on to that, and trusting that I knew God had something bigger for me.
Sure.
Didn't know what it was.
Okay.
But I trusted it. You know what I'm saying? And my faith, it speaks for it. You know what I'm saying? It speaks for itself. I've literally walked off my job 2019. I heard the voice of God saying it's time, and I was like, it's time for what? You got to tell my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Quick,
what you want me to do?
Your wife is. They can't see your wife is in the background. Listen.
You sure he said that? Are you sure?
He didn't speak to me. I didn't get.
That's literally it's facts. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, she was like, if God said it, that settles it. We got to listen. So I listened. I left my job. Things start working out. Shows start coming in crazy. She get a promotion on her job, so we going crazy. Really, God is moving. So I'm like, okay, God, I see you. Then 2020 hit. Bow. COVID. No shows. Dried up. You still trust me? You still standing on that word that I told you? I'm like, God,
that fate
got me out here.
I'm fating right now.
What's going on? Like, what you want me to do now? And so in that season 2, he kind of just, told me, I already given you what you need in this season. And so in the midst of, all that calamity going on, pandemic going on, I started, serving other people. And I was doing graphics, I was doing merchandise, and I was helping local artists brand themselves, doing their t-shirt designs, printing them up for them, pressing them by the heat press, started doing their shirts for them. And I was serving them in the same day. I was knocking out 20, 30 shirts, like just back to back.
As like a profession?
I was doing that. Like just to get bread, get by, you know what I'm saying? Just to make ends meet, because God said it's time. I'm still working this season. Even though it might not be time right now, I know it's coming. You know what I'm saying? It's down the road. It's coming. So I'm gonna work diligently in this, serving my people around me. And I know you're gonna, you know what I'm saying?
That boy pressing up t-shirts.
Facts.
For Venmo deposits.
In CHH too. I was like, yo, if you need Brandon done, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Brandon, I got you, bro. I've done that. Yeah.
You know what I'm curious about, because you said this when we first started.
Yeah.
You talked about you being humble.
Yeah.
And then you talked about you serving, and you said how God is faithful, but yet you're talking about this time in which you had to wait. You know what I'm saying? Like one, like truly like an Abraham situation.
Literally.
Like told his wife, like God said this and we gonna move.
Yeah.
And it wasn't everything that you thought it was gonna be. So then 2020 hit, knocked all of us out the park. You know what I'm saying? But so how was it what was that season like, being humble to be like, okay, I know I got greater in me.
Facts.
I know that I'm an artist. God's got these plans for me, but I'm gonna do these shirts. Like what was it? Were you weary at times?
Listen,
were you always like, how did you get through that?
It's
like
been
that
a mix
waiting
of
time?
everything, but I couldn't show my wife. Like I had to stay. I had to keep my faith so high. So whenever she was feeling weak, I would be the strength for her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But of course there were times where I was weak and she was the strength for me. But in that season of just working for other people, I was still being diligent with my craft. And I literally stayed consistent. Any challenge that popped up, I know you remember, I was doing every single challenge. It didn't matter who it was.
Listen, there was a time.
They could have been B class, C class. It don't matter. I was doing it.
I remember specifically, of course, because there was nothing else for us to do other than be on social media.
Yeah.
And I was like, every time there was a challenge for this song challenge, I will always see the same dude. I'm like, who is this man winning all these daggone challenges? And I remember, because I think I met you doing Miles Minnick's what do you mean
what you
challenge.
think,
What you think, right? And so I was kind of like, I've seen this man before. So what was it even like, doing the challenges, knowing that like, hey, like working at your craft, still being diligent.
Facts. So that season was crazy because I just told God I'm gonna do it. Like, I know this is what you call me to do. I'm gonna still work at this. I'm gonna still, bust my butt to make sure we good, to make sure we not struggling, but I gotta show my face. I gotta be more diligent.
Yeah.
And I heard this interview, I don't know if it was Will Smith or I think it was Will Smith, but he said out of sight, out of mind. And when he said that, and he like expounded on it a little bit more, he was like, if you're not in people's face, you're gonna be out their mind. Like, you're not gonna be thought of. So I was like, I gotta get in people's face. I gotta be singing da 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 da. And so I was doing these challenges, but it was also sharpening me as an artist. So now people hit me up for random genres of music because I can do it.
You can, Mike,
I literally can do any genre now because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be boxed in. I'm not going to box myself in. I'm not going to allow people to box me in. So I'm doing R&B. I'm doing pop. I'm doing Afro. I'm doing regular hip hop. I'm doing whatever it is. I know that God has given me that gift,
That's fire.
And that season helped me shape who I am now.
That's so good.
Yeah, because for all my hip hop heads, different people have different tastes and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
One thing you can't deny about Mike, the boy can really rap. The boy's cadences, the double entendres, the pace, the speed, delivery, tone, melodies. The boy talented.
But nothing I gotta say though is that Mike is very diverse.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can hear, you got bars, but at the same time, you hear some funk.
Facts.
He got an R&B record. He got a pop record. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many dimensions to you as an artist.
Yeah.
And because, I think that's so inspiring for someone
Praise
to hear.
God.
That in your season of waiting, you gotta wait well.
Wow.
Bro, you gotta wait. And you waited that season so well. Therefore, we're able to see the benefit of Mike Teezy today.
Facts.
While you're able to do a project that can stand out amongst the rest. And when we get back, I want to talk more about how social media has played a part. You know what I'm saying? Because we haven't even the way you took off on social media, the way you playing with that, even with going live and your followers. We gotta talk about that. So listen, y'all, we have a great conversation going on. Don't go anywhere. We got Mike, Teezy, Ace, and of course I'm here at the 116 Live Channel 154 here on Sirius XM Holy Culture Radio. We'll be right back.
Fire.
All right, y'all. We are back here on the 116 Live here with Mike Teezy. And we also got Ace here as well, my co-pilot for this show. Man, we're talking about so many great things. Shout out to everyone that's tuned in right here on Channel 154, Sirius XM Holy Culture Radio. Y'all, we talk about a lot of things. Like when I tell you, we went through the valley. You know what I'm saying? The last segment, we was on the mountaintop. You know what I'm saying? But I love that we can even talk about the road to how you were able to get to those mountaintops. Bro, I feel like it's been so dope seeing social media play a part into your success. You know what I'm saying? Like, was that your goal in mind? Like, were you like, okay, I'm gonna try to do this? Like, cause TikTok, I feel like, I'm not sure if everyone was expecting TikTok to be what it is. Right. But you know what I'm saying? So like, did you see it climbing? Like, talk about how social media's played a part.
What's crazy is, like I said, with the that season of just doing every challenge, I was just trying to show my face, like just saying like, yo, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hear some music, I got some, you know? Yeah. And that's literally it. I was just showing up, you know? I was literally just showing up, putting up shots in a sense. And me and Caleb was talking on the phone because we met during the What You Think Challenge too.
Oh, dope. Okay.
So we've been locked since. And he was like, bro, you got music videos, you got fire albums, you got songs, What are you missing? Like, what are you missing? And he was like, I know what you're missing, TikTok. I was like, what? I'm not getting on TikTok. Yeah. My sister been trying to get me to get on TikTok for months before I even had this conversation. And I was like, bro, I'm not getting on TikTok, bro. I'm just not doing it. He was like, bro, I'm telling you, you get on TikTok, you just put it on there, you let it blow up. Like, that's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy for you. And so I realized that TikTok is more so like a billboard across the world. And at that time, Instagram was more so like a flyer in your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You know? And so I was like, you know what? Let me figure this thing out and see what the people actually want from me. Even though I had so much to offer, I was like, you know, let me make these videos, throw them out on TikTok, see what happens. So then I was like, you know what? Let me just copy and paste that, throw it on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? And everything just started going up at the same time. And so my name not only got like bigger in the Christian hip hop market, but bigger in the gospel market, you know what I'm saying? Bigger in, you know, actors and different people, and athletes, like listening to my music now, you know? Yeah. And so it was crazy because my wife I got a little crush on Fatima from Sisters. And then she ended up seeing my video. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Your wife was like, hand me that phone.
She was like, all right, she's cool or whatever. But that was dope, you know? So I was like, yo, this is fire. Of course, B. Simone seeing it. Yeah. They shout me out on their podcast. I was just featured on Jacqueline Carr's album. So I'm really just crossing over. Like, it just dropped today. So definitely check that out. But yeah, like just the crossover has been crazy, but it was because of that season of just throwing stuff out there. You never know what's going to stick. And people just kind of resonated with what I was bringing to the table. And it was just
what did you learn from like the TikTok, the social media? Like what's something that you learned that you feel like artists probably miss? You know what I'm saying?
Man, I feel like the main thing that I learned was don't get too attached to one post.
That's tough.
Because you'll put all this work into one post, like, oh, I know this one gonna go viral. You know, this gonna go viral right now. As soon as I upload it, 2 likes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And so, again, be not weary and well doing.
Yeah.
In due season, you will reap. You know what I'm saying? So I literally was like, okay, I got to keep telling myself, don't be weary because this post didn't make it. This post didn't do nothing. Went from 2 likes, 20. Oh, I got 20 now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't where I want, but I know.
It seems like you were putting your faith not necessarily in the actual result of the post, but like the process of working. Exactly. And just putting stuff out.
Exactly.
Let me say more about that. Did you know that in that moment, or you kind of had to learn it through? Like,
I feel like with me, I've always had that work ethic. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So like in the season of doing all them challenges and stuff like that, I work the same way in anything that I'm a part of. You know what I'm saying? So if it's designing shirts, merch, whatever, I'm putting that work in. If it's doing a song, I'm putting that work in. If it's making content, I'm putting that work in because I want it to be excellent.
I mean, I definitely like shout out A&R Dre. He echoed that same sentiment when you worked on the summer 23 playlist.
Yeah.
Cause so for a little context, for summer 22, he's laughing because I mean I've been told I'm a tough critic on music, and I don't know. I have my own blind spot, so so I don't know everything. My opinion on your song from the DMs I get doesn't mean that it's not good. It just means I don't love it, right?
Yeah.
So Mike has submitted some records for 2022. Okay. And I basically, he's probably submitted 3 records or so.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah.
He's like, I don't love it. I like it.
Nah. I may give him like 3 no. I'm sorry, dog.
It's good.
And then he was like, cool.
Made me work even harder.
And then next year, it was just like, we brought him into the studio.
Facts.
And that boy went crazy. And then the way that the record we're talking about is Flip That.
Yeah.
Flip That.
And just the vibe of it, the bounce, the musicality. In the end part, you said earlier how you like do everything with excellence. The way you added and fought and changed pieces, I was like, all right, you obviously care about what you put into your music, into your crafts, which I think is really dope, man.
Got to. Because we're in a season where people don't care. They throw out whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I thank y'all for that opportunity, too. Flip That was
Shout out Dre. Y'all go stream
Dre
that record and go play it on Holy Culture Radio right now.
Facts.
Right, how has it been getting your name out there, I guess, in the CHH space? Well, even gospel. I gotta say gospel too, because you've definitely crossed over. Because I mean,
crazy.
Jacqueline Carr, Ty Tribbett, like the list goes on when it comes to J Moss. I love that song that you have on your album, on the Greenhouse Project. It's like, how has it been? I want to talk about this. How has it been crossing over?
Man, it's really been crazy. But like I said earlier, I just been flowing with it. Like. I was like, I knew God called me for something, and I'm guessing this is it, you know? Like, that's just the season that I'm in. And now that I'm on, like, the McDonald's Inspiration Celebration Gospel Tour, that's crazy in itself, because Donald Lawrence, he's, like, the spearhead of the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's the music director, all of that stuff. And so having his band, his choir, and then being on stage with, like, Anthony Brown, Group Therapy, Hezekiah Walker, The Walls Group, Doe, She's Fire, Bree Babineau, like it's so many different people, Tim Bowman Jr., like this is really crazy, you know what I'm saying? This season, and God is just showing me, are you ready? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're ready now, like this is the time, and this is just one step to where you're headed, you know what I'm saying? Like this ain't even all of it. Like I keep seeing that, and I know that God is doing so much. Like I said, he's done a lot this year, blown our minds, you know what I'm saying? Like beyond measure. Like before we can even like think of what we wanted for this year, God was already doing it.
That's amazing.
Just like that. January hit, boom, God has already started.
So I want to ask you just before we kind of get one of my favorite songs from you is "Roll the Stone Away." Can you talk about? Can you just talk about that song? Yeah, how it came together.
Man,
what went into it?
Listen, so Boski sent me the record, and shout out Jay Boski, and I heard this thing, and I was like, man, this is fire. I love the organs in it, and so I just started, putting down this idea, and I had the hook first. And he washed my sins away. My life won't be the same. When I was like, man, this sounds like a gospel song. So I hit up some sisters of mine. I was like, yo, can y'all hop on this and y'all sing, backgrounds for me, just adding texture to it because I want a choir feel. And I was like, I want to be transparent on this song and really talk about what I've dealt with. So I talked about my suicidal attempts.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
and like the hardships that I faced. But every hardship, God just rolled it away, just like the tune was rolled away. You know what I'm saying? And so I just wanted to bring like a illustration in a sense, you know what I'm saying, to people's mind when they hear the song.
Right.
And when you think about, Easter, or you think about, Jesus raising up from the dead, he rolled the stone away, stuff like that, where the angel rolled the stone away. But to me, to make it personal for myself, like he literally rolled the stones away for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I was dealing with, the depression, the low self-esteem, everything just kind of rolled away. And I wanted that to be shown in song form. Yeah. And then not only that, but then make the music video. And then it started going viral just out of nowhere.
It was going crazy on my feed, man. Yeah. That was a special one. And I felt on that record, I got to see, people got to see a glimpse of your heart and content outside of like the joyful kind of playful content that which is actually what people. You are hilarious, by the way. Ain't gonna lie. But it's like that showed another side of your artistry that really resonated with me. So work on that joint, man.
Praise God. When it comes to, I gotta shout out the Harvest Land, because they're so committed, man. They rock with you for real. And I think even before you even got to the following you have now, you rocked with what you had. Facts. Like, bro, I remember Mike was going live like every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, talking to, if it was 2 people in the live and it was 2 people in the live, you know. Facts. But so how has it been even just, I want to say stewarding in a sense?
Yeah, that's a good word.
Because I mean, just because like you're pouring into them, they look up to you, you know what I'm saying? You're giving them, you're leading them to Christ, you know, giving them encouragement and things like that. How has it been developing that fan base via social media, and then even also in person doing the tours, being able to grow the Harvest Land movement?
Yeah. So, like, I don't know how to really explain it, but the main thing that I can say is what my grandmother has taught me, and my parents kind of carried it on to me, and they was like, work with what you got till you get what you need type deal. And I've always been talking about, you know, harvest and reaping and stuff like that for years. So Harvest Land, before it even was created, was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always spoke about my faith. I spoke about, you know, reaping things, sowing seeds, stuff like that. And so, like I said, I knew a harvest was coming. I knew a harvest was coming. I didn't know what kind of harvest or when it was going to come or what kind of form, like what form it would come in, you know? And so I started seeing like bits and pieces of it. And last year when things just started going really crazy for me, it was like weeks. I was getting 10K a week, like 20K. You know, I was just jumping like fast. I'm like, what is going on, guy? Like, what are you doing? But like I said, I had to be liquid in that season. And so my main thing is, like, I don't want nobody to say, like, you know, Mike Teezy let me hear and now I'm going astray and da-da-da-da. Like, I don't want to be that guy, you know what I'm saying? And so I know that the mantle that's on me is heavy, you know, and I have to be a good steward, you know? And so I have to make sure what I'm putting in my music actually has meat to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually saying something. It has to be biblically sound as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever God is telling me. And so I made sure I did that. And I think in that, God has just honored it.
That's super
God
dope.
has literally honored it.
What's something you want to leave people with? Like, I mean, I know you've things you have upcoming. I know you on the McDonald's Inspiration Tour. Like, what you got going on? What's upcoming? How can people check out to the stuff that you're kind of putting your hand and heart to?
So definitely streaming on all, you know, platforms, whatever. Just search Mike Teezy. It's Teezy, not Breezy, not Treezy, not Tweezy, nothing like that. I heard that so many times, y'all be surprised.
What?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But Mike Teezy on all platforms. On Instagram, you follow me at official Mike Teezy. Same thing on TikTok, YouTube. Definitely tap in on YouTube. But main thing I want to leave with people is, again, don't be weary and well doing. I'm literally a product of not giving up, not quitting. That's keeping my hand to the plow and trusting God the whole way through.
That's amazing. Well, I think it's just a joy to see your story, bro.
Praise God.
We're rooting for you.
Thank you for real.
And I feel like, you know, just continue to be faithful with it, man. And y'all go check that music out for sure. For those who haven't. I think that's what.
For sure. Yeah. I think so many people, including myself, I know Ace probably for the same, because y'all meeting for the first time, truly are grateful for the fact that you stay faithful for real.
Praise
because
God.
I think we're able to see and I'm not trying to be deep, I promise, but I recognize the enemy, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, there was a reason to why he was trying to stop you young.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like from school to school attack, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you could have gave up, bro. You really could have.
Sure.
But like you said, the fact that you kept pressing forward, ran your race, and the fact that God is able to do what he saw from the beginning truly blesses us for real, like all of us. So, bro, we're so grateful for you. Make sure y'all are following Mike Teezy and are tapped into the music all day, every day. Add it to your playlist and be tapped in with him, y'all. This is another episode of The 116 Life, man. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Matt, who's running the operations behind the scenes. And we're so grateful that you guys tuned in once again. We'll be back right here next week on The 116 Life, right here on channel 154, Sirius XM, here on Holy Culture Radio. We'll talk to you guys soon.